100%. And so, Colin, every week,
Man, I love these.
we've got so many people in the UIG that are just performing exceptionally well. People start from zero and then immediately enter the Your First Dollar in DeFi challenge, and then move on to the DeFi Earner Portfolio Challenge. And we see people who just perform exceptionally well. So Colin, walk us through some of the wins this week.
Some great wins this week. Yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, and I highlight this every week, but I think it's so vastly important. The portfolio review section that we have inside the platform is where we get a lot of these screenshots from. And these screenshots are unfortunately sort of cut off. It's like, here's a snapshot of the whole portfolio, because we can't, put in these full articles here on this report. So what I highly recommend you do is go take a look at that portfolio review group and read these posts, read through people's portfolios that people are posting, because the insights and the wisdom that can be extracted will help you make better decisions. So anybody that's been around totally gets it. Anybody that's fairly new, that's like, oh, this is maybe my first time seeing this report or seeing these screenshots here, take time, go into the portfolio review section, read these posts, because I'm going to read a little bit of Luca's right now, and you can extract some great wisdom from it. So yeah, shout out to Luca here. This is great. So long post incoming. I love it. I love the start of that because there's always some good juice in there. But I wanted to say thank you to the team and everybody on the community side of things. What I really wanted to highlight here was, actually, I do want to read this, David, because I kind of laughed when I was reading this. First of all, I want to say thank you to the instructors, Lucas, and the community as well. Never have I felt so welcome and included in a community as I am here. First off, I just want to say the community is what makes this incredible, right? I don't even call this a job. I love coming in here and being a part of this community because of the support and the helpfulness that everybody provides. It does spark something in me. So when I read that, I agree with you, Luca, 100%. I've tried different courses online, but this one just feels right in my chest. And honestly, the closest feeling I can compare it to is like home. That's awesome. And then he said, enough of these sappy emotions. Let's talk some business here. So shout out to Luca here. $3 a day is a huge achievement, hungry for more with the limited funds. But what I like about what Luca has done is he set up 3 positions, which is, diversified in a way to be able to hit that first quest goal. And now what Luca can do is kind of take a page out of this book I'm reading, David. Well, I'm reading the Cash Flow Quadrant, but this one was one that I read last week and the week before, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And basically the essence of it is take your earned income, convert it into assets, which could be a whole bunch of things, but I like to think of them as concentrated liquidity pools that produce cash flow that can then fund other assets or fund something else. So what I like what Luca's doing is starting off, creating the cash flow at $3 a day, and then seeking new opportunities to either move new cash in or to compound that into new positions. So anyways, shout out to Luca, great post in the portfolio review section. All right, Ricky. Yeah, Ricky's been killing it too. First portfolio post after about a month in the group. And so again, I like to see this of people progressing through the educational portal and then posting after a few days, a few weeks, a few months in the community of, hey, here's what I'm building. This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm doing. So getting comfortable with the concentrated liquidity, having done my first rebalance, really just trying to take the time to learn the flow and enjoy the process more than anything. Learning to lean into discomfort and try rather than sitting on the sideline. So again, guys, wisdom is packed in these posts. Not only, David, and this I want to highlight this too, not only are there great pools and assets that are highlighted with realized results in these portfolio reviews, but again, there's more insights and more personal stuff that you can capture as well. So shout out to Ricky. Nicely done.
Look at the picture of his cat.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
That's great, man.
I love it. There we go. Another one. Roger's been killing it as well. What I love about Roger, and he talks about how he's taking a more of a conservative approach when it comes to building out his portfolio. And I zoomed in on his portfolio, and I love it. And what I love is on the weighted monthly return there, 12.47%. I'll take that all day long in a more conservative approach, right? We get so used to seeing 1% a day or 80% a month, but when you really see the realized results coming in at 12.47% on a monthly basis, I'll take that all day long. So shout out to Roger and what he's building here. And there's one other thing I wanted to highlight, David, if I can go in here. Since I joined, I completed the $3 challenge, working through the next lessons and all the other goodies, trying to watch as many calls and content as possible. And I think this is something I wanted to highlight too, David. The members in the UIG who take the time to show up to these live calls, 135 people that are live with us today, tend to be, and the people who watch the replays tend to be those who take action. And those that take action start to see results. And those that start to see results really start to get the feeling of, I get this. This stuff works. But if we never take the action to actually set up an entry pool, and I'm not saying take action like deposit at $100,000. What I'm saying is get into that first pool, that first position. That's where you're going to start to see all these core concepts start to click. And that's when you can start to work through the rest of the quest and start building and scaling this thing up. So just shout out to Roger. Really great stuff. Yeah, Brian's another one right here. New to the group, and Brian's been really active. He's actually here right now, live called Rock. So shout out to Brian. There's one other thing here. Oh, yeah, impermanent loss used to scare me, right? Impermanent loss is an important piece of this, right? We don't want to ignore impermanent loss, but understanding exactly what it is and seeing it in action, I think, is also really important as well. And so things can scare you if you don't actually know what they are and are not educated on them. And so I think just to highlight this, and I'm not sure if Brian really meant to go down that lane there, but I think going through the education and really understanding, like I said, the core concepts, they'll help you become more confident in deploying capital. So just shout out to Brian. Really, really great stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
Anything to add, David? Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I'm noticing here a little bit is, what Brian's saying here. And I know, Brian, you're just starting out, and this is great, man. Like, congratulations. You're doing a great job. And I just want to highlight that, when we see these really high APRs, especially in meme coin pairs, I just want to highlight, that these are, the meme coin pairs are risky. Now, why? Well, you see those high APRs for a reason. There's a ton of swap volume. But if you're earning, let's just say 10% per day in yield, and yet there's a possibility that this meme coin declines by more than 10% in a day, well, then net, you're not coming out ahead. So I just want to highlight the risk of meme coin pools with these really, really high APRs. So just keep that in mind. Hey, it's okay to enter a meme coin pair or a meme coin pool, especially if you, have a dedicated portion of your portfolio, a small portion of your portfolio dedicated to, maybe something that's a little bit more speculative with, quite a bit more risk. That's perfectly fine, but just understand the risk. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, it's a great point. That's a great point, David. Yeah, Sean's in Fast Track. Sean's a great guy right here. And so I love the second paragraph right here. I'm so convinced by what I've seen in my own position that it's made me a huge believer in this. I've been approaching this like my crypto associate's degree. Maria, I don't know if Maria's here, but Maria always jokes about this, how kind of the UIG is like almost like a crypto university, right? We're kind of getting a degree in crypto. So I love that he mentioned that as well. But I've learned so much through the trainings and through this community over the last 11 days. What he says is, do not be content. There's always something more to learn. And I found the best way is to just do it. Hunting for new positions, learning technical analysis, videos are great, but do it. Prove it. This was harder for me. Rebalancing, snuggling my positions on and on. It's been challenging, but I'm seeing huge gains. That's what it's all about. That paragraph right there is like, if I can get that tattooed on everybody, that's what I would say is actually do it. Put it into action. Learn about it, then do it. That's when you'll start to see it in action. That's when it'll start to click for you. So anyways,
I love it. I see what Maria's saying in the comments. You're earning your PhD in DeFi. I love that stuff. So cool.
I love it. We've got VL here. VL is also posting the first portfolio post. And so they're taking advantage of the base chain on these three positions here. But let's see what they said here. I've been on base for about 2 weeks now. I've been testing a few pairs and planning to increase my investment soon. Right now, the APRs are decreasing and the price of Arrow is fluctuating, but still averaging close to $7 per day. So something I wanted to highlight there is that, again, these are living and breathing things, right? This is not something that's going to be steady, either steady or up and to the right always. And so understand that APRs are decreasing. Why? Well, generally, mostly it'll be probably because of the volume. So volume is going to fluctuate. Volume is elevated on base right now, which is why they're taking advantage of it. But understand that volume is going to fluctuate. But, shout out to VL, still averaging close to $7 a day in these three pools. So very good to see on that.
Hey, and so Colin, real quick,
Yes,
one
sir.
other thing I want to mention is, Colin, you do a great job in the UIG in the main community of, researching these different opportunities, these different projects. But, at the end of the day, it comes down to us as individual investors to make our own decisions. And we must make those decisions based on as much information as possible. And so when we're taking a look at these opportunities on base, like TKN or OVN or Arrow, it's really, really important that we dive into these projects on our own to, start to build an understanding of exactly what they're doing. So, TKN, take a look, see what is this project? What problem are they trying to solve? Who is the team behind TKN? Same thing with OVN, same thing with Arrow. Just make it a habit of doing your own research. Hey, you can start with all of the research that Colin puts together inside of the main UIG community, but before you invest, do your own research also. I think that's an important piece of this game.
100%. And just to add to that very quickly too, David, I had a conversation earlier this week, and basically a gentleman asked, should I stay in this position? Was how he formed the question. And I said, okay, well, I'm not aware of the asset. So I said, what is that? What's that one right there? What's that asset? And he goes, you know what? I actually don't know. And then I didn't say anything. And then he said, you know what? I should probably look into it. And I said, yes, I think the assets are a really important piece of this whole game. And so when I posed the question of should I stay in this pool, I didn't go to volume, I didn't go to TVL, I didn't go to anything. I went straight to what's the assets that are there. And that was a good little spark, a good little light bulb moment. So anyways, last one here, David Hill, always a pleasure, David Hill. But David Hill posted this in the one of the chats this week. And I love this. I'm going to read it very quickly. For people asking about results over a longer period, this is a snapshot of the last 2 months. He's been in the UIG for 7 months. Yeah, David's an OG, right? I have $9,561 in fees. My positions are down. So understand the positions are down to 2,200. But he says, this is irrelevant for me as I would, he's in this for the long haul. But it is important. Yeah, volume. The assets themselves have dropped in value in the last 2 months, as he described here. However, producing $9,500 in fees, he's now up $7,353 in 2 months. And so I just love this. I want to highlight it, is that there's mindset that's intertwined. There's wisdom that's intertwined in this. It's not just about the numbers. So the numbers are great to see, but they're sort of irrelevant in this case. It's more about I'm in position, I'm earning fees, the pool value is down, but I'm not running away. I'm not selling everything and leaving. I'm understanding that I'm in this for the long time, or the long haul here. I'm in solid assets that I care about. And now, David's still in position to be continuing to earn fees. So anyways, just wanted to shout out David Hill again, because he has a nice little screenshot of Chad's tracker down there on the bottom where we can actually see the numbers input directly from his position. So really, really good stuff.
Colin, so I've worked with David Hill in Fast Track for months. And, one thing that I see time and again is people say stuff like this, okay? And, what I hear in the UIG is that people finally understand that we're here for you. We want you to win, and we're going to steer you away from all of these nonsense projects and towards much higher quality opportunities. So when you put in the time to build the skill set, you get your systems in place, you can see significant results. And remember, concentrated liquidity, this is all self-custody. You have custody of your assets. This is not, depositing into some protocol and hoping that you get paid. This is real self-custody. You have control here. So David Hill's seeing some excellent results, almost 10K in fees. And hey, shout out to you, David Hill.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
All right. So